Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm Paradoxic, and welcome back to DC's Doom Patrol. Been a while, been a very long, very cold while since I started reacting to this show. Yes, the intention is very much to continue it. I hadn't forgotten about it. I hadn't left it behind for no good reason. Just stuff got in the way, things got in the way, and the kind of continuation was paused ever so slightly. But I'm back with it. I am back with it. Back with Doom Patrol, this time on episode 2 of season 1, titled Donkey Patrol. Last time we had, I don't think it had, I don't think there was any particular patrol type name. I think it was it was just a pilot episode. But we were introduced to this world that the people over at DC Universe have established. Very much different from and outside of the Doom Patrol we saw in Titans. Very different. Near enough the same characters though. Pretty much all the same characters except for Crazy Jane, who seemed to be like a new addition, unique to this rendition of the story. But we met Cliff Steele. I mean, the episode for the most part revolved around Cliff Steele, who was a former racer, and he got into one accident that he survived by like an inch. Survived long enough to only to then suffer the fatal injury out on the road, crashing into a truck and everything. A truck that seemingly killed him, killed his wife, but then left his daughter as a survivor. He didn't know that his daughter had survived it until many years later, because the chief had hidden it from him. But his daughter survived it, but then he went on to be salvaged by Chief and to be put into a robot body and given like a new thing. And so the first like 60% of the episode was about his rehab at Doom Manor, learning to walk again, learning to talk again, being Cliff Steele again, even in this new body. So he spent decades doing that. So that was him. Then we met Larry Trainer, Negative Man, the Air Force pilot who came into contact with some negative energy up in space, and he crashed back to Earth, but then literally crashed, so his body was horribly charred and scarred and just unrecognizable. So then that's why he wears all those bandages, because his body's under there, and then he still expels his negative energy somehow. He still expels the negative energy, or like it escapes him in some fashion, but that's him. That's Larry. He's Negative Man. Then Rita Farr. I don't know if she has a superhero name just yet, or like any kind of superhero, or like super name of any kind of alter ego, but she was a former movie star, and quite a rude one at that. She was rather ableist to one of the people working on the set of one of her movies, one of the cameramen who only had like one arm, so she wanted him gone because he was like an eyesore or something along those lines. So she was, very, very kind of, she left a bad taste in people's mouths when she worked with them. But then she got her own karma when she came into contact with the toxic thing under the water, and then her cells became unstable and she turned into like a massive blob being and everything. So that happened. So she then has to maintain a high caloric diet in order to maintain her state of being. So that was that. And then Crazy Jane, multiple personalities, like I think 64. They mentioned 64, like including Hammerhead, and there's another one. I think Hammerhead is the really, really angry one, the really pissed off, dickish one. And then there's another one, Hangman's daughter. Yeah, she's the really super depressed one. So just a couple of them. There's many more circling in her head. So she's got that one. And then there's the chief, Niles Calder, played by Timothy Dalton. So don't know who played him in Titans, but again, very, very different universe, very different story. Stuff like that. Near enough the same kind of character backgrounds, but different characters, different rendition, all that sort of stuff. So there was that. And then there's the evil villain of this show, who is Mr. Nobody. Mr. Nobody, played by Alan Tudyk, and he donated his body to evil villain science, is the simplest way to put it. He donated his body to science, and then that science kind of turned him into something different. He's kind of torn up, but still kind of hovering together, like his pieces are hovering together, and he's out to get the chief and his new team and everything. He's out to hurt them, so he's got a plan. He's got like a donkey with him that sends out toxic, toxic gas clouds in the form of farts that spell out words. And this show is already a wild ride. Only 1 hour of this, 1 hour into the show, and it's already proving to be a wild ride. So I have no idea what else the writers have up their sleeves. So yeah, but there's only one way to find out. But it was a great pilot. I loved it. So I am very much looking forward to seeing what else this show has in store. But yeah, that is it. So that was the first episode. So now on to the second one, Donkey Patrol. This will be the highlight reel of the reaction. So if you guys want the full length reaction, the full length watch along to the episode, you can see that over on Patreon. But yeah, that is it. So episode 2, Donkey Patrol. Let's go.
They lashed their whips at you, dear Lord, and now they will be lashed with eternal
What?
flame.
Is that a
I
cockroach?
have been faithful unto death. Crown me and let me be seated by your most
That's a
holy side.
full cockroach.
Yes,
That's an actual
I am
cockroach.
ready, Father, to lead your
Okay, I didn't see that one coming.
Holy shit!
Whoa, this is very different. This does not look like nearly the amount of wreckage that should have come from that. Okay.
Holy shit!
Yeah, this is way too much wreckage for that.
Holy
Okay.
shit!
It's all going to be fine. Chief disappears all the time.
Into a fucking hole! In the fucking ground!
Don't get snippy with me!
Oh, Detroit. They're gonna become human. Oh, I think they are. Oh, is someone?
Talk to you.
Someone's hacking the ATM. Someone's hacking the ATM. Oh wait. Oh wait, is it him? Is it Thingy? The cyborg? Is it cyborg? Bruce Wayne Rich. Oh, the Bruce Wayne is in this universe then. Oh damn. Okay. Damn, so he's a vigilante then.
You're a cyborg.
And she knows him.
You can call me Vic.
Victor Stone. Okay, that's cool. I think I recognize the actor too. Yeah, I recognize the actor from other places. Doctor Who. He was in Doctor Who. Yeah. Yeah, he was, I think, Riggsy. Was it Riggsy? I think it was Riggsy. Yeah. Is that a good disguise?
Red. Pull up crime blotters.
Do people not still, notice the
Too
glowing
small.
red eye?
Go deeper.
Finally.
Chief. They knew him. They know him.
No.
Yeah, he. Oh, he knew Chief. Okay. Oh, he must have been one of the people that came and went to Doom Manor.
Impossible.
Yeah. So I do take it he actually went to Doom Manor, but then left, maybe to go back to his dad. His dad could keep working on him. Huh.
I've been wanting to work on my tan. That was a joke meant to make you feel more comfortable with my appearance. Don't you dare, you little...
Oh, yeah, no. Oh, yeah, okay. It goes out and then comes back in again.
The mom is awake.
He is wasting so much money on this stuff. No, it really doesn't.
Did you see anything useful?
Damn it, the donkey!
What's the donkey got to do with it?
That's what I'm trying to figure out, asshole!
Oh, Jane. That's Jane.
Take it, that's Jane.
Yeah, that's Jane. Wait, the donkey just threw her up? It can do that? Wait, is the hole inside the donkey? Is the chief inside the donkey? Huh. Oh, damn.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
I know who you are. You're Cyborg.
Oh, she knows
Of
him.
course she does.
In the flesh.
She knows him.
And you are?
Baby doll, duh. I'm your biggest
Baby
fan.
doll.
Way cooler than the Flash.
Flash. Okay, we have Bruce Wayne, Justice League, and everything else. We might as well have Flash.
Let's do this.
Oh, Jane's tapes. All of Jane's different personas. Okay, alright.
I wasn't shoplifting, I just wanted to try some things on, that's all.
And that's why Katie came out.
Katie. She a kleptomaniac?
I've never met.
The underground is vast.
The underground, yes.
The underground.
You mentioned that before. Could you draw me a picture of it?
Like a literal underground, like a underworld?
Can you at least tell me, where does Katie live in the underground?
Lizzie Borden. Sun Daddy, the Snow Queen.
Holy shit.
The underground. It's the connection of all of her things. Her other personas.
Talk to her?
Oh, damn.
Let's talk to Katie.
Oh, do we want to talk to Katie?
She doesn't like to be interrogated.
Oh, and that's exactly what Cyborg is about to do. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, is Katie the thing? Is that Katie? The Firehead. The Human freaking Torch. Oh, she's a fire demon.
The name's Lucy Fugue,
Lucy Fugue. Whoa.
and you're the one who wanted to fight.
Oh. Holy crap. Lucy Fugue. These are some amazing names. These are some great names.
Care to join me outside?
Why?
Yeah, yeah.
I could use some air.
Yeah.
Underground.
Oh.
Now what? I know Chief was trying
She's
to
a
help
visual
you.
effects bender.
Maybe I can help you too.
An After Effects bender.
Dimensions, wormholes, other buzzwords from the 2 theoretical physics books I read in the 50s.
Yeah.
Not that I care.
Could be a
but
wormhole.
Can't that thing inside of you tear a hole into another dimension? I am a Golden Globe nominee.
And now you're the key to another dimension
Freaky
through a donkey's
Mexican
mouth.
carnival grill.
Oh no! What? We're going in!
They're going into? Where are they? Where the hell is this?
It's Cloverton.
Okay, it's Cloverton. Sticks. Oh, the people. The people that went inside. The cockroach! Mrs. Goopy, Bandage Guy, and Cyborg. The one name they got right.
Too bad 3 of us are gluten-free, 12 of us are allergic to peanut butter, and none of us are your fucking daughter!
Okay. Never mind then.
Which is great because it frees me up to skip straight to the torture.
Oh,
right,
was this his
Victor?
accident?
You bastard.
Is this his accident where he lost everything? His eye and oh yeah. This is where it happened.
It was all he could do not to shoot
Oh,
himself
the
to
leg
death
is
right
definitely
there in the
gone.
Stone family yard.
That leg is definitely gone.
I wasn't running away from my family.
Right, you were running from your family and your lover.
Yeah.
I'll have to be the one you choose, but you have to make a choice.
Oh. Oh, there was another person on that flight with him.
And how do you
He had a
call yourself
co-pilot.
hero?
And every person I save is me fulfilling a pledge to my mom that she'll never get to hear. Trying to make her proud.
That's a hero. That's a hero.
Knowing I'm the reason she's not around to see it.
Don't do this to me.
I know what you did.
What did
What
she
you're
do?
willing to do. Me?
I'm nobody.
God damn it. He's a nobody turned into a somebody. That's who he is. That's what he is.
Aha! Your Deus Ex is right on time.
Oh, that's the being. Oh, the entire town. The entire town. Okay. Donkey couldn't take much more. Donkey could not take much more. No.
Every criminal we bust, every person we save, is us fulfilling a pledge to your mom. Doing her proud. That's our burden, Vic.
So he taught him that talk.
That's what it means to be cyborg.
Yeah, he taught him that speech. Okay. Yeah, that is a terrific makeup job.
You can do it.
You can still kind of tell Matt Bomer's there. Yeah, somewhat.
You'll wake up.
With the eyes and the mouth, especially. Yeah. What's this being? What is this energy being? How's Jane doing? Jane is she drew Cyborg. She drew Cyborg. And the others, yeah, and all of them. Okay. Who's he holding? I can't tell who he's holding. Yeah, I don't know who he's holding, but he's holding someone. Okay, yeah, so this episode we met Cyborg. So yeah, he is Victor Stone. He is Victor Stone as is comically accurate, and his father is Silas Stone, and he's a pretty well established character in the universe. Apparently, he's a pretty well established character, especially in Detroit, where him and his father work on him. And he is Cyborg. He's working to become a member of the. Okay, the references, by the way, the references in this show that this is a much bigger universe than just the Doom Patrol. The references in this show, this is a different, a bigger universe. They mentioned Bruce Wayne. He scanned Argus databases for information. They mentioned the Justice League and how he's working to get himself on the Justice League. They mentioned Flash and Star Labs and all that kind of stuff. So he's working to get himself on the Justice League. So it's that kind of universe where basically everything else is there, but it's just kind of outside the bubble that is, the Doom Patrol. So I feel like, I wonder if it wouldn't have been. I mean, I can get why. I guess I can kind of get why they wanted to separate this stuff from Titans, but at the same time, it would have been cool being like, I think it would have been cool actually keeping it the same universe as Titans, like, being like, okay, so his ultimate goal is the Justice League, but then maybe he's, maybe it's like baby steps. So, in order to get to the Justice League, you have to be worthy of being a Titan, But I don't know. I guess actually keeping it like, going from the Doom Patrol to the Justice League is, a more suitable step for the writers and the characters to take, instead of actually having to incorporate the Titans into it as well. I mean, the Titans is very, very clearly its own thing, that does a very, very good job of referencing all the stuff that it has. I mean, with Titans, it's a much, much more direct kind of connection to the Justice League, with Dick having been Robin and Donna being Wonder Girl, having those connections to Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman and all that sort of stuff. So with this one, Cyborg, I think, to my knowledge, Cyborg is definitely a member of the Justice League, and he's also, I think, a member of the Titans in the animated series, in like the Teen Titans, I believe it is. I think he's in that, and then he might be in Young Justice. I've never seen even the smallest bit, even the inkling of Young Justice, so I don't know, but I think at a guess, I'd say he is. So he's in that, and then he's also in a bunch of other things. But Teen Titans, I think he's in, and Young Justice, I think he also might be in. But he's been a member of both teams. But I think the way they set up this one, and also the way they ended Doom Patrol in Titans, with Doom Patrol in Titans, they ended it with Gar having left the team to join the Titans. I think that alone was like a sensible enough setup to have them then be joined by Jane afterwards, and also by Cyborg. But then of course the Chief, I mean, they could have recast. I mean, yeah, there have been times when they've done hastier and even more like even more unannounced like recasts in history. They've done recasts like in this kind of genre without really explaining the reason why. So the recasting, I don't think it would have been much of an issue. I don't think it would have been much of an issue. But I think what they were going for was the fact that they wanted to establish their own version of the Doom Patrol in this multiverse first, before actually going for any kind of crossover. And doing that was easier by actually starting up a whole new universe. So yeah, but Cyborg, he's a vigilante. Of his own making, and that was cool. That was a really cool entrance. How he actually hacked the ATM to ask the mugging victim questions, and then like a questionnaire, like oh, is this guy robbing you? Like, how rich do you want to be? Like rich, uber rich, Bruce Wayne rich. That was funny. And then he does them a favor by just spewing out loads and loads of cash from the ATM, and then he takes them both out and stuff. And the girl knows him. The girl knows that he's Cyborg. So he's establishing himself as an actual hero within this universe. I mean, currently, being outside the Justice League, I think he has like more of a maybe more of a standing as a vigilante, but he's also kind of careful enough, and he's also, his dad being Silas Stone, he's also well funded enough to actually stand his ground as Cyborg than he is as just some kind of metahuman kind of street vigilante or anything like that. So yeah, wait, there is actually something I want to go back and check for, just to make sure. Yeah, he when Baby Doll said that he's cooler than the Flash, and then he said, oh yeah, he's not even that fast. So I think that I mean, on the one hand, it could either just be like a joke for him to actually get into her, like like get through to her a bit easier, like actually coaxing her into a little inside joke. Or on the other hand, it could mean that he's actually met the Flash and raced him, but then that would mean that he is definitely, I mean, he's faster, but probably still not that fast. But yeah, I don't know. But I mean, it kind of reminds me of the Reverse Flash in Crisis on Earth X being like, oh, I've raced Superman and he's fast, but I'm faster. So yeah, but then Reverse Flash is an actual dedicated speedster. Superman just happens to have super speed, so it's a kind of like an apples and oranges kind of thing. But regardless, so it was great that they established the history too. There was history. Like it wasn't just I mean, I was curious. I was curious as to whether it would just be a case of, oh, he picks up on this news report and then he actually goes to Cloverton, discovers the team for the first time, finds out that there's some old guy who needs help. But no, him and his dad had actually worked with Niles Gordon before. They actually set it up to took the time to set up an established relationship and an established history between Cyborg and Chief and stuff. So he knew him, he had worked with him, and even Niles had even offered Cyborg a place in Doom-Man. So I was wondering, could Cyborg actually? I mean, yeah, I think he offered him a place to return, to come back, because I think because again, like Niles mentioned to Cliff, like some people come and go. Obviously, one of the first ones like that we meet is Crazy Jane. She left and then she came back. So Cyborg, I think he could have been there for a while, working with Niles on what could have been like a collaborative effort between Silas and Niles, and then he left to go back to his dad. And then after a while, because even in that flashback, he actually said, oh, you look like you've grown some. You look like you've like grown an inch or something since I last saw you. So there's been some time, and then he actually offered him a place again. And then Vic mentioned that him and his dad were actually working to get him onto the Justice League and actually boost his kind of attention and everything, and stuff like that. So yeah, so then as soon as he finds, and then I think it's when he finds out that Cloverton, the town that Doom Manor and Chief are based in, is in trouble, that he finds out, oh, this could be something to do with Chief, because he's working with a group of enhanced people. So if there's a massive case of destruction there that not even the authorities can control, then must be something to do with the Chief's kind of pay grade thing. So yeah, so then he goes to Cloverton and he meets Cliff and Rita and Larry. And yeah, I love the dynamic between him and Cliff. Him and Cliff have that just kind of hilarious back and forth. Like as soon as they meet each other, and Cliff chasing the donkey, and then Cyborg actually catches the donkey, they just have that amazing, like, hilarious back and forth between each other, which I really, really love. And I think it's even better given that one of them's actually half robot. One of them is a full robot, like the single organic thing in Cliff is his brain, which is all that survived from the accident. So, there's like if we got a full robot man talking to and trash talking and like dissing back and forth with a cyborg dude, like a guy half human and half robot. So that kind of dynamic alone is super, super fun to watch. So I really look forward to seeing how that goes down the line. And then you got him getting along with everyone else, was him and Rita and Larry getting along, him and Larry being like him discovering that the donkey was a door. The donkey was a doorway. A very, very peculiar donkey. The donkey in itself contained the entire town and Jane and Chief, and then the throat of the donkey was like a keyhole, a doorway into the other universe. So him and Larry be like Rita in her annoyance coming up with all these ways that they could actually funnel her into the thing. I didn't think that would be possible. They actually made it. They actually looked at her like it was obvious she would be the one to go in, but I didn't think it was possible because, yeah, sure, she can destabilize, but what happens is like she actually becomes bigger as a blob. Like it's literally what we saw in the first episode. Like she actually becomes bigger and bigger and bigger, like a massive blobby mass. I mean, yeah, I thought that was the extent of her kind of her like unleashing her form. I didn't think that they could actually control her size and her mass and her shape to be able to funnel it through a donkey. That one was new to me. So yeah, so apparently she can do that. Apparently she's like I mean, if she can do that, she's kind of like what, like Elastigirl from The Incredibles. Like she can make herself bigger and bigger, but she can also actually control and contort her shape to become thinner and narrow and fit into locks and doors, and apparently now donkey mouths too. So yeah, it's a very, very interesting way to discover that power. It's a very interesting way to, or at least for us as viewers to discover it, and for her to actually showcase it. But this is Doom Patrol. They've kind of established that they are literally the legends of tomorrow of the DC Universe original shows. So, yeah, that was pretty great. I love Nobody's narration. I love Mr. Nobody's narration. Like he even in the recaps, he has like that very 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 obvious but beautiful element of self-awareness to him. In the way that he describes the situation, describes the heroes, and even describes the audience that he's talking to, and then actually cuts back to the show and everything. Even when Cyborg and Larry and Rita were inside the donkey and everything, the way he described how the story was unfolding, that is what he's actually setting himself up to be, not just the villain of the story, but the one who dictates how the story will go, and the fact that he's controlling them all, because that was what he was doing to them inside. Like it wasn't just like getting into their heads and actually exploiting their fears, but also actually controlling the way they see themselves and the way they move forward in this crisis, and how they actually, and like whether or not they actually give into the trap that he set for them, or whether they actually escape. And the only reason they escaped was because Larry's negative energy being actually jumped out, and it is a dimensional being. It is basically a dimensional being because it jumped out in that donkey dimension. And then cut a hole, and then managed to escape through the donkey, and also in doing so brought everyone else back out again too. So yeah, so we saw Victor's accident. We saw how he was in an explosion that killed his mother. But then left him horribly injured. He lost his leg. His leg was gone. His eye was gone. Half his face was gone, and his arms were broken beyond repair. So a lot of him was broken. And so his dad cut him, took away the broken body parts and fused him with some stuff. So I mean in the comics I'm not sure how it goes, but then I think before this the only one I was aware of was in the movies. Something happened in Justice League. Something happened, and then he struggled to find a way to actually properly make the cybernetic enhancements work with his human body, and that's where the Mother Box came in. But then that was actually, I think that interpretation itself might have been like somewhat exclusive to how they wanted to execute Justice League, or at least how Joss Whedon wanted to execute Justice League. And then so then that happened with that. But then with this one, I think maybe either with this one and or the way it goes in the comics, like it might just be the fact that like the science they used was good enough for them to actually fuse some cyborg body parts to him, and it worked. So yeah, but then he was programmed, like nobody actually made it clear to him, like you have no memories. You were programmed by your dad to think certain things and to remember certain things, and even the stuff that Cyborg was telling him, like he all the criminals he stops, all the heroism work he does, it's to honor his mother. Like his mother never made it out of that accident. She like he made it and she didn't. So everything he does is to honor her, and to honor her, to honor a pledge to her, because it's his burden that she wouldn't be there to see him do all the stuff. But then we see in the scene afterwards, when they're all out in the real world again, that's just stuff that his dad fed to him. That's all the stuff that his dad fed to him. So I think that like his face when he realized that too, like that's exactly what he said to nobody. But then nobody makes that realization. Like nobody tells him, like you've been programmed to think and say certain things, and now he knows it's true. His dad telling him all this stuff. And for his dad, it seems like something almost natural to say, but it also sounds ever so slightly rehearsed, like it's something they actually kind of taught each other to say, for a certain reason. So he's starting to realize. So that's his fear, and then Larry's fear was he constantly kept fleeing. He constantly kept going to work and doing test flights and everything, but he was really just flying away from his home situation. He had a lovely family, he had a wife and kids and all that stuff that society deemed acceptable, but then on the sidelines he had a man in his life that he actually truly loved, and someone he could never be with. And then both of them had their own kind of arguments to it, like his wife, kept saying that, she wanted him to come home because the boys were missing him, and even his secret lover being like, I don't care if you don't choose me, but you have to choose. So he couldn't choose. That was the issue. He couldn't choose, and he kept flying and flying until one day he flew too close to the sun, and then a negative energy being possessed him, and he got roasted beyond recognition and all that stuff. I think he had like a test pilot with him too. I think he actually had like another co-pilot with him, who then I think that person who actually didn't make it at all, like Larry was saved by the negative energy being actually possessing him before he crashed, but the other guy had nothing, and he just just turned into a melted puddle of human goop. So yeah, so that was his one. And then Rita, I think hers also kind of linked into what her room is like now. Her room in like the present day is just filled with pictures of her. Like, if she wasn't Rita Farr, you'd think she was just some kind of obsessed fangirl or something. But no, she is like, like she's still kind of clinging to the past. She's very clearly clinging to the past, like her past, her faded days of glory, like nobody said, like her days of Hollywood fame and everything, like even the those women saying like oh, I'm so jealous of your skin, how beautiful it is, it's glowing, and tell me your secret and all that stuff. So she was idolized and looked up to back in the day, and then her accident happened, and then it changed everything. So yeah, so the way, like, the traumas he made them live through are exactly what they feared. Like, like Larry fearing having to choose between different things and just, just not, being able to get what he wanted and having to actually face the reality, like the harsh reality of society, and not being able to be a hero because of who he is. And, Rita losing. I think Rita's one, I think there's one thing that confused me, like, like the baby cot thing confused me. I don't know what the baby cot was doing there. Like, they never actually showed us what was inside, but she was walking towards it with fear and trepidation. So I don't know what the thing was there. Like, she lived her glory days and then they faded away, and then there was something else. I don't know if she actually had a child, or if that was her as a child. Something that happened in her youth that terrified her. I don't know. I don't know what the meaning behind that one was, but I think her main fear is that she will never be what she used to be again. Like she used to be this beautiful, idolized, glowing member of the Hollywood Walk of Fame and all that stardom. But now, after the accident, she's nothing more than like a freak and a monster and everything, and her powers could go haywire at any second. So she's afraid of that. And then, of course, Cyborg's thing, like honoring his mum. But also being who he is too, like he especially that final scene, like his dad like reveres him and holds him up to a pedestal as Cyborg more than he does. Like his dad has all these dreams that he has for Victor now that he's in this condition, and now that he has these abilities, and he wants him to fulfill those kinds of goals of being in the Justice League and being Cyborg and being that hero. But Victor remembers everything that Niles did for them. Like, he very much sees Niles as like a friend and as a colleague and everything, so he's determined to help him and save him and stuff. So yeah, it was a really interesting way to explore their past, like having nobody taunting their memories and bringing out their worst memories and their nightmares and everything. So yeah, and even at the end, like the very final scene, like Larry actually unwrapping his stuff, and I have to say again, the makeup job on that is fantastic. The makeup job on Larry is actually amazing, because I think if you look closely enough, if you actually concentrate and actually try and not squint, but actually if you try and mentally place the image of Matt Bomer over that face, you can kind of somewhat get a match. Like, they've done that much of a good job of showing that it is still Matt Bomer under there, but that's the whole point of the actual burning, the fact that he's basically unrecognizable now. So the burning, like I can't even identify what degree of burning that is. It looks way beyond the third degree. If there's a fourth degree, it's probably even beyond that. But yeah, the burning is amazing. The burning is the actual the makeup department did a spot on job of that. It looks great. Looks really, really realistic and really, really well done. So that was cool. I mean, and again, yeah, I think in this context, it's because he was saved by the negative energy being that he managed to survive being burned to that degree. Like any normal human, like his co-pilot, would have been killed by it, but he was saved. His body was still intact too. His body was intact, but his skin and flesh were charred beyond repair or recognition. So it's a really, really great way to show that. It's a really great way to show that. So yeah, so he then left behind like a not necessarily like a thank you note, but a note saying let's set down some ground rules, like with Rita setting some ground rules down on her transformation and everything. So he is now in the first step of actually thanking the negative energy being. He's setting up some ground rules too. So, and we see the negative energy being now too. I think he it doesn't really have. It has a figure. It has a very very humanoid figure. It's very very sparkly and electric and everything, and it has it has very very two distinct kind of eyes that you can see, but nothing facial, nothing recognizable. It's just like a negative energy being. It's just a negative energy being. And at one point, it looked eerily like Mr. Nobody. It looked eerily like Mr. Nobody at one point, but then actually started to actually fizzle and sparkle a bit more to show there was actually just something else completely different. So yeah, that was all cool stuff. That was all great stuff. So I wonder if Larry's actually controlled by the negative energy being, because every time he bought like a ticket, every time he waited, and every time he was about to get on a bus, the negative energy being would just the being would just leave his body, and then he'd collapse, and then just come back. It would only come back to his body when the bus was actually gone. So I wonder if that being must be the thing keeping him alive, maybe. Yeah. Because again, his body has been, damaged beyond any kind of repair, so he can't really control it by himself. Like the being in there gives him the power required to actually perform basic human functions. So once the being leaves, that's his body gone, because it can no longer actually function beyond the point of its death. So so that's actually a really interesting idea. Like the being itself doesn't directly communicate with him or can't communicate with him, but it keeps him alive, it keeps him awake. If it leaves him, then he just collapses to the ground, and otherwise he can just lay down on the bed and give it the actual freedom and the free choice to actually safely exit his body and do whatever it needs to do. So I think that's a really cool concept. I think that alone is offers some kind of interesting kind of relationship kind of development points for them, how he now he actually might start communicating with the thing, just leaving post-it notes and post-it messages on the mirror or the wall or something, communicating back and forth with it. So yeah, I'm interested to see how that progresses and how they actually start to understand each other. He might have what kind of questions he might ask it, or what kind of questions it might have for him, and just how they communicate and how they actually approach this new mission that they have in this new life. So yeah, that's actually cool. It's actually kind of cool. And then of course Jane, Diane Guerrero as Jane is so amazing. So I think it's not a casting choice I actually ever would have seen happening, because having only seen her in Orange Is the New Black, that's a completely different genre. It's a completely different tone. Nothing to do with superheroes or comics or anything like that. It's based off a book, I think, but yeah, it's nowhere near this kind of book. So she is a very, very flexible actress. She's a very, very flexible actress. She just handles not just one character, but she handles 64 different personas in one body and everything. And even seeing the transitions happen too, in the visual effects, the visual effects kind of marker is there. You see that little kind of shimmer of her face, and then she actually transforms. But then in real time, when they're actually on set, she would have to actually change at the right time and actually transition the dialogue and the tone and her body language. She is amazing. Diane Guerrero is amazing. But yeah, we met Lucy Fugue. Lucy Fugue has powers. So some of her personas have powers. Some of her personas actually have superpowers. Lucy Fugue has electric manipulation, somewhat like Lincoln from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., so she can do that kind of thing. And then there's the other one. I don't know what her name is, but she has a silver lining on her lip, a silver lipstick lining, and when she talks, it creates those visual effects templates, and then she can use that as a projectile. She can literally use that and just send it stabbed into the wall. And even one word she says, she lined it up to Cliff's neck and then turned it into a sword and everything. She's a visual effects bender. She can actually literally just create After Effects templates and turn them into projectiles or weapons. That's a cool power. That is a cool power. But she can do that. And then there's Katie. I thought she was a kleptomaniac at first. I thought she was a kleptomaniac because I think she mentioned on the tape that she just wanted to try some clothes on. She didn't mean any trouble. She just wanted to try some clothes on, and then Katie came out. So I wondered if she was a kleptomaniac, but no, Katie is the one who won. Number one, Katie is the one deepest in the underground, and number two, she's also the one who doesn't like to be interrogated, and number three, she's the one who grows into a big fire demon. So I think she was the one we saw last episode in the town, actually, with her head growing into a great big sun and everything. So she's like a fire demon. She can fly. She's like DC's Human Torch. She can fly. She can send fire bombs and everything. So she's a firebender. But that's her. So that's Katie. Yeah, but she stays deepest. She stays deepest underground, and yeah, the underground. So it's like a kind of like almost like a hive mind, like a network of all these different personas living inside Jane, all the different personas. So yeah, I mean, yeah, Cliff mentioned it. Like, you know, Cliff mentioned that he doesn't even know what kind of trauma would make someone want to split themselves so many times, and I think it's like a reference to like her having like that. I mean, I don't know what she actually might have. I don't know. I don't know if it would be like multiple personalities or dissociative identities, because I think those are similar things. Maybe like I think dissociative. I don't know if that one. I think this is. I mean, I've seen. I have a bit. I think I've seen like more multiple personality disorder in the media, but dissociative identity disorder. I think that one. I mean, disassociation. I don't know where that would come in. I think I don't know if that means that the identities are still linked in some way, or if they're connected, or if they. I think. What's her name? I don't know what her name is, but I think that woman from Iron Fist, from the second season, she, the blonde woman, she had she had DSD, and those two identities were linked. One of them was like a super skilled like master assassin or a soldier or something, and the other one was like a sweet young lady who was like a really innocent and stuff. And I think in that story, she was like one of those identities was like the innocent identity was actually saved by the other one. Like, you know, the other one came to existence, the other one came to life, and then fought its way out. They helped her fight her way out of the danger that they were in before. So I think in that sense it could be linked. But multiple personality, I think that actually involves having different personas living in your head and then having different names for them and different ways that they identify. So I think this could be that one. But yeah, because I mean, you have names like Baby Doll. Baby Doll was like a really really childish one. But it was like the really giggly, childish one with the pigtails and everything. So that's cool. That's her. And then you got Hammerhead, that's really angry. Then Hangman's daughter is really depressed, and then there's Lucy Fugue, and then there's Katie. So the underground is like a hive mind. It's like a network of all these different personas that live inside Jane's head, and yeah, I think it's a mix of trauma and whatever kind of accident or science experiment gone wrong that actually gave her the ability to actually, you know, have all of these in her head, and also give some of them superpowers, but also having an underground, having like a kind of network to connect all these identities to, and actually have some of them stored away forever because they don't like to be talked to, and some of them actually coming out from time to time and stuff. So Katie's the one that doesn't like coming out. She doesn't like being interrogated or anything like that. So I thought it was going to be something much darker. I thought she was going to end up being like a homicide, like a homicidal maniac or something, but no, she's literally just like a fire demon. She just turns into fire. She flies around, starts shooting flames. I mean, it's still dangerous, but you know, there was like a sudden like tone shift from that, like from Baby Doll talking about how Katie doesn't like to be interrogated, and then Cliff watching the tape back and, you know, being like, oh shit, I need to get him out of there. So, you know, knowing that, you know, if he tries to talk to any other personas, Katie might come out and she might start talking. So yeah, so yeah, and yeah, one of them can teleport too. I don't know which one it was, but one of them on the tapes actually was shown. Like I thought it was like a case of, like, you know, running around really fast. Like one of them has super speed, but no, one of them can actually teleport around the room and stuff. So yeah, some of these personas have superpowers. Some of them have actual powered enhancements, which is cool. So you got Fire Lady, you got Electric Lady, you got After Effects Lady, you got Teleport Lady, and you got a bunch of other ladies in there as well. So yeah, I think it's called. It's like a kind of mix. It's somewhat like a mix. Some of them have superpowers. Some of them have superpowers, and others just have Others just have great dialogue. Others just have great dynamics with the characters and great dialogue and stuff. So yeah, it's kind of like a nice kind of mix of crazy and also well, not crazy, that's a not like a great word to use, but like some of them just have, you know, very, very excessive attitudes, and others have powers that, you know, set them off and everything. So yeah, I like her. I'm like all these characters seem to mesh really well, but even individually they each have their own qualities that the show is doing a great job actually setting up and doing a great job displaying. So I'm liking it. I'm liking this show. Very much liking this show. So yeah, nobody has been established to be like an age-old enemy of Niles Calder's, and he is, again, like his story was that he was like a henchman turned supervillain. He donated his body to a Nazi who gave him like the Rubik's Cube powers apparently. So he used to be nobody, but now he's somebody, and he has the power to be the villain finally, and he has the power to dictate the story and control the heroes and control everything else. So I think that's like an interesting kind of backstory, and an interesting progression for a villain to have. So I look forward to it. I look forward to seeing how nobody actually becomes somebody in this season and stuff. So yeah, yeah, that's pretty much all I've got. It was a fun episode, a great episode. I will be doing these again and again, and hopefully more often and consistently. But yeah, that is pretty much all I got from this. So let me know what you guys thought. Let me know how you guys felt about this episode and what you guys think about this show so far. Only 2 episodes in, so not like a huge amount to say, but they still give us enough. I think it's still like, you know, like Titans, or like any other kind of like, you know, non-CW DC show. Like they give us like at most like an hour's worth of content to consume and process and everything. So it's a lot to take in. But it's a lot of fun, and it's a lot of drama and a lot of content and everything, so it's cool. But yeah, that is pretty much all I got. So that was Doom Patrol Season 1, Episode 2, titled Donkey Patrol. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, then salt and burn that like button. Comment on what you thought of the episode and what you think is coming up next time on Doom Patrol. Once again, if you guys want to catch the full-length reaction to this episode, that will be over on Patreon, so you can go check that over there. And yeah, that is it. So, I will see you guys next time.